What's going on, everybody? It is Maddie here today with my review, actually our review, for Uncharted 4. So we're doing things a bit differently this time because I've been insanely busy with finals week and it's finally coming to an end quite soon. But for now, since I've only played Uncharted 1 and 2 and I got a review code for Uncharted 4 over the weekend, I handed it off to my beloved best friend over here who I trust so much to review the game for me because he's a diehard Uncharted fan and I figured that was much more fitting than me actually reviewing it in the first place. And hopefully, down the line, we'll be able to both get review codes for games and review them together so you guys can get different angles on the game itself. So now, without further ado, let's talk about what is probably one of the most, if not the most anticipated game of the year, Uncharted 4. It came out today, and is this just a worthy conclusion to the franchise?
Yes, it is. I think that this was the perfect conclusion to this franchise. Overall, after playing all of the games, I'm a diehard fan. I love it. And I thought that this game was perfect when it came to a lot of stuff. And they killed it. Naughty Dog killed it.
Okay.
But overall, great conclusion to the game. I love the way the story played out. Love the way that the game looks. Love the way that the game plays. There may have been a couple of things here or there that were maybe a little tricky and hard to get past or something like that, but overall the game was a very good conclusion.
Okay, so is this like the top tier Uncharted game out of the entire series? Like this is the best one?
All Uncharted fans, this is the game that we have been waiting for. This is the game that you've been looking for because it just takes the whole Uncharted game series to the next level.
Alright, so I personally felt like some of the Uncharted games were a little bit slower. That's just my personal opinion, but do you think that this game kind of keeps up the pace where there's always something new and interesting happening as it progresses?
At first, I didn't like the first kind of couple chapters. I thought that it was awesome. It just dove kind of into something that was just so exciting. Okay. But then after that, it was a little tiny bit boring, like in like maybe one section. But then after that, consistently getting better and better every single chapter I played.
Cool.
And it just went from like 0 to 100.
All right.
That's right.
And speaking of 0 to 100 numbers and all that stuff, how long did it take you to beat this game?
It took me about 17 hours to beat, but that was with some things here or there, maybe standing still for a little bit, because it does take all that into consideration when it comes to statistics. And the overall game, though, probably took me about like 17 hours.
Since we want to keep this spoiler free and actually go in depth on some stuff, we'll talk about the gameplay now. So how has the game changed since Uncharted 3? In Uncharted 3, there seemed to be a lot more like focus on fist fighting. 2, they kind of tried stealth and more of an open level. It seems like each step in the Uncharted franchise, I've noticed they're always trying to add like new things to it. Was there anything that kind of stood out in 4 that was fresh?
Well, yeah, there was things that stood out in 4 that I've definitely noticed have became either better or were maybe just like the kind of the same overall Uncharted feel. But like graphics in changed between Uncharted 3 and Uncharted 4 is crazy, especially because it's next gen. Obviously, people were on PS4 now, we're not on PS3. But it was beautiful. It looked beautiful. Everything from the dust to the fucking scenery was amazing.
Yeah. You said you had like almost like a gig of screenshots.
To tell you the truth, I almost had like a gig of screenshots because I was taking pictures of everything because it was just so beautiful. The whole world was awesome. The color palette was great. Overall, I thought it was very vibrant and beautiful.
That's awesome to see.
Definitely, especially for this game because it is one of the most anticipated games. But when it came to gameplay, how it changed from Uncharted 3, I would say that the shooting mechanics definitely got better. Overall, when we were talking about like different things when it came to is this going to be a better shooting Uncharted?
Yeah, because if you guys didn't know, a lot of people we've kind of found out when doing some research is that some people just felt the shooting in Uncharted was floaty. It really wasn't that good. So I was asking him kind of specifically, is the shooting in this game any better? It's just kind of a weird thing to ask when you think of Uncharted, but we figured we'd cover it.
Yeah,
anyway.
well, I mean, it's usually all third person shooting and stuff like that. So obviously, like your crosshairs can get kind of messed up, whatever. But they definitely took it into a whole new light. There is different options that you can change, either your shooting assist, aiming assist, or you can have different other options as well when you play the game. But in general, I thought that was a big difference between Uncharted 3 and Uncharted 4. Camera views as well. I mean, that's what I was talking about before, like overall camera views. I played without the assist on. You can play it with an assist on. That's not ruining anything, but overall, it's just some parts had a little bit of a hard time, but other parts didn't. And it's a big change between Uncharted 3 and Uncharted 4.
So when it comes to gameplay, I noticed when watching some snippets myself that it seemed like there was a lot more option to the gameplay where you could go through an area without attacking an enemy. You could stealth everyone.
I did a lot of stealth.
Okay, that's good.
And I'm not usually the person that does a lot of stealth in Uncharted games because sometimes I get caught.
Yeah, and well, honestly, you can barely do that. So I was kind of interested to
sometimes
hear.
it's hard to do it sometimes, but that's also another reason why my game was a little more when it came to hours, like what they said that would be like the basic of it. But just because I took my time, I waited and I saw like different routes and how I should do stuff, who I should take out first.
Yeah.
And overall, like it's a big step forward when it comes to it because I did a lot of stealth attacks and stealth attacks are awesome. And there's just a bunch of stuff that is kind of new to the gameplay and how to fight and stuff like that.
You said there's like team attacks too, right?
Yes, there is. There's something like where if you're like meleeing somebody and one of your companions is with you, you can do like a kind of like a team thing. And I was like shocked. I was like, wait a second, that's not in the other games. Yeah. So I like took it into consideration and started doing it a lot more because I was doing stealth and melee and like you can do a bunch of different stuff. But overall, like I thought it was awesome how they kind of included that into this game.
Cool.
And then also a lot of things that got me, like since we're talking about gameplay, got me out of some jams is the autosave feature.
Okay.
Which is really cool as well.
One thing that I've always kind of had a small issue with is sometimes when you're climbing in Uncharted, like it'll have you jump off to some place that you didn't want to go to.
I've had that plenty of times where I die and just.
That's still an issue in 4?
It's not as much of an issue, but let's just say that there's like things blend in certain areas, so you might go to like hop up to one place and that's not the place you're supposed to go to. And of course it'll like just bring you back down, but sometimes you can go to the side and you'll fly off the cliff.
Yep.
But hey, I mean all Uncharted games have that kind of difficulty, but it definitely improved in this game.
That's good.
Because I had that problem too. Me and you talked about it. I wanted to freaking shoot the game when I would go to jump something, I'd fly right off the fucking map and die. Like that happened a lot to me. But overall I thought it definitely improved.
So we talked about the story, we talked about the graphics a little bit and how good looking this game is. How about some of the acting, the cutscenes and stuff?
They focused on the story of Nathan Drake and like him a lot and everything and how it goes from there. But when it came to cinematics, I thought the cinematics were long. I thought that the story cinematics were kind of not dragged out because I loved it. I was so engrossed in it. But it's like the story had a little bit long of cinematics in it, and I thought the acting was brilliant. I thought they were really good when it came to acting as overall characters. I mean, voice acting, anything. It was just like, it was crazy how the new graphics, the facial expressions were shown so much.
Like, see,
when
like, the wrinkles
when it came to like wrinkles and everything. And overall, it was just, it was really good. I thought the cinematics were long, but I thought it was worth it.
Okay.
All Uncharted fans, it was worth it.
So, one thing while we're talking about conversations and something is that I noticed in a little gameplay video before the game came out was like a conversation kind of system where you could like select what you want to say as Drake. Is that like a common thing or is that
if
like
I was to say common, I would probably be lying because I don't want to say that it happens a lot. But let's just say that yes, it is in the story and yes, it's pretty cool.
Does it have like any layer of choice, or is it like...
It has a decent layer of choice. So like, let's just say like if I was describing Uncharted versus Mass Effect. Okay. Let's just say this. I know like some people have their doubts about it and everything. Yes, huge difference. Story choices. When it comes to that, I think that this game, it's not really one of the things that they focused on.
I didn't think so.
It's there. It's definitely cool. A cool feature, especially to an Uncharted game, to be able to choose like what you say in some situations, or if you were to stay in some situations.
So that's kind of the single player portion of the game. That's kind of the main focus of Uncharted 4, and apparently, according to Connor, it's fantastic. But
it is.
If you want some longevity, there is also a multiplayer section that we spent some time on. I got to play a little bit in the beta as well as at PAX. And then you got the full game, obviously.
Yeah, so. I got to play it on the full game, and I got to play it at PAX as well. PAX was the first time I played it. I didn't play the beta. But multiplayer it's come a long way. It's really cool. I think that it's going to be a very good experience if you're playing with friends. In my opinion, I mean, single player, you can play it single player, and it would be fun. But I think it would be better with friends.
Yeah.
There's just some things that are different with it than there was with the other game. I'm pretty sure Uncharted 3 had it. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
right?
I think since 2.
Yeah, I think they might have had it in 2.
Yeah.
I'm a little fuzzy on that.
Whatever.
But to tell you the truth, I thought it looked cool. It was pretty cool things like a tutorial and stuff like that. But it was very interesting when it came to you have to be 3 levels apart from the person that you're going to be playing in a party with, which was pretty interesting because then it can't be like too OP'd when there's a level that's somewhat higher and there's some.
No, that's very good because like you said, you don't want to get thrashed in multiplayer. So it's good to hear that we're actually gonna have a fair shot if you're hopping in. If you're new to the fray, you're gonna be playing with people your level. So that sounds awesome.
It's a lot of fun. The combat is cool too. And
I saw you had like little powers or something.
Yeah, there's things. There's a currency system inside the multiplayer where you can like pick up different things from people that you defeat. It's really cool because you can buy certain specialties or powers, like not powers. I don't want to say that we have powers. Nathan Drake has powers.
Yeah, it kind of looks like it though, because you did like a little shadow dash or something.
They're like specialties. Like you can buy stuff in the game while you're playing. Yeah. Like I think there is certain. This is just off the top of my head. I'm not ruining anything, but there was like certain things like a rocket launcher that you can get like a single shot out of or something.
Okay.
And there's this like they actually bring stuff from Uncharted, the other Uncharted games, kind of into those specialties as well.
That's cool.
Which I don't want to ruin anything, but it's really cool because you can have like certain powers come from different things, and like 2 seconds later, like it's killing enemies and stuff like that. So it's really cool.
All right, so that kind of wraps up what I had to ask. Is there anything generally at the end you want to say about the game?
Definitely. I know that there's one thing that I really want to mention about Uncharted fans is that even if you're new to the series as well, which is really cool because it wasn't in the other ones, at the end of the game, you can kind of do stuff like where different things come up now. So you can now click on different things and see bonuses and stuff like that. Now, one thing that they added on to the game that I thought was really cool, and I know this is big, like it's around Twitter and stuff like that with other people who reviewed it. There's different renders and modifiers. And what happens is you can take those and look at them, and you can render your game in like rainbow colors. And you can render your game in different kind of photo filters and all that different kinds of stuff. I don't want to ruin anything, so I want people to see it.
What about the gameplay modifiers though? Because that sounds like the most interesting.
Is really weird. It's kind of like deja vu, to tell you the truth, because I remember on like N64 you can play on like James Bond, you can like do like paintball mode and shit, which is really cool. This game you can kind of do the same thing. With awesome. The modifiers you can do like I'm not gonna ruin anything big, but like here's one thing, like infinite ammo. Like you can do modifiers like that to your game. Okay. So you can render it in a different kind of like picture or like different kind of filter, which is really cool. And then you can sit there and modify your game to infinite ammo and like a bunch of different stuff. I mean, I don't want to say anything else. I want everyone to enjoy it themselves, but there is a lot of cool features when it comes to the bonus section.
So, I guess the last question is really, when you see all the 10 out of 10s popping up, is that something you agree with?
Well, in my opinion, when it comes to Uncharted, being a fan, playing all of the games in record time, by the way. Yeah,
did it all in a weekend.
Yeah, I would give it a 10 out of 10.
Cool.
And that's just me. I'm not a numbers type of guy.
Neither am I.
I know you aren't either, but I mean, if I had to knock it for certain little things, obviously I would knock it maybe like a point, not a whole point, like
like a point one.
But to tell you the truth, 10 out of 10 in my book. Cool. And I can't say that about a lot of games, but I can about this game. It definitely wrapped up the series perfectly, and they killed it.
Awesome. So that'll conclude our review for Uncharted 4. We hope you guys enjoyed. You guys got to thank Connor big time because he actually stayed up until 8 a.m. playing it and then slept and came to my house.
And came to his house by 11. So to tell you the truth,
because I have a final.
I got you guys.
So yeah,
it was a little difficult, but
it was tough. But you got Uncharted 4 early. I think it's a fair trade.
Awesome. Yeah.
Anyway. I hope you guys enjoyed this little change to the review. Usually it'll just be both of us voicing our opinion on a game instead of me firing questions away. But like I said, since I couldn't play, it's more so we got to trust Connor's opinion, which I do trust, especially as an Uncharted fan, man. So it sounds like a game you should definitely pick up. If you couldn't tell by now, this is kind of going to be your definitive review since it's coming out on launch day. But yeah, we hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll catch you guys in the next video.
See you later.
Later.